Chelsea sit at the summit of the Premier League, comfortably, well, maybe not so comfortably, but certainly in first place after having a, quote, easier run of games perhaps than our title rivals, which makes you think, ooh, what a superb position to be in, and it absolutely is. But are Chelsea faultless? Absolutely not. In fact, Chelsea have quite a lot of problems, and Thomas Tuchel would be worried about sorting these out. But, you know what, dear friends? It's good to be in this position at the top of the Premier League, rather than perhaps, I don't know, Manchester United's position. We do have problems to sort out. Gary Neville thinks we could win the Premier League. It's funny because pre-season, early doors, people were saying, yeah, Chelsea, Man City. Chelsea lose a couple of games to Juventus and Man City. And suddenly everyone stops talking about Chelsea as title favourites and only talks about Liverpool and Man City, despite us being at the top of the league. And like I said at the top of the video, having the hardest run. We're going to go get into the problems we have and what Thomas Tuchel needs to sort out. And perhaps a couple of quotes from Gary Neville. First off though, I'd like to urge you all to drop a like if you want to support the channel, and if you're yet to subscribe, I'd welcome you to do so, only if you want to, but hey, daily content and you might dig it, and I'm delighted to inform you all that this video is brought to you by OneFootball. It's a completely free application that I use on the regs every day, and you can too, for totally free. It'll give you all transfer information, football news, stuff, statistics, lineups, data, all for free on a really slick companion app. Just click the link in the top of the description and you can have OneFootball for totally free, dear friends. Okay, right, take a deep breath in. Let's talk about Chelsea. You know what? Let's start by having a look at what Gary Neville said. There's that noise for all you people who love it and you people who get triggered by it. Brentford 0-1 Chelsea. Gary Neville believes Thomas Tuchel's side can win Premier League title. Ooh la 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 la. Let's have a little look. Gary Neville believes Chelsea underlined their Premier League title credentials by surviving a late onslaught to beat Brentford 1-0 on Saturday Night Football. Edouard Mendy's stunning string of saves ensured Chelsea climbs back up to the top of the Premier League, with Ben Chilwell's strike sealing a nervy 1-0 win at luckless Brentford. And they really were luckless. Let's hear what he said. Quote, "I think Chelsea can win the title," Neville told Sky Sports. "I know people will say Manchester City or Liverpool, and you can't disagree with that given what they've done over the last 3 or 4 years. City's performance at Chelsea a few weeks ago was incredible, and by the way, that was the moment when people were like, I don't think Chelsea is it, I think this is Man City, because we were just absolutely pressure cookered by them. We couldn't do anything. We were like, when that bully holds you back by your forehead, that was Chelsea in that moment, and I think the optics of the situation changed massively in that game, which, who knows, may favour Chelsea not being perhaps so heavily under the microscope, yet still being at the top of the Premier League. I know Brentford enjoyed the last 10 or 15 minutes, but this was it was incredible, but I do feel Chelsea are the team that are resilient and tough to play against. I think they can, I think that any team in the league would like to play against him. Or he says, I can't think. And that's true. Thomas Tuchel did say, we will build a team that nobody wants to play against. And that's precisely what Thomas Tuchel has done at Chelsea. I know Brentford have enjoyed the last 10 or 15 minutes, but this was a tough game for them in the first 70 to 80 minutes. True, people will forget that. Chelsea were very good early doors in that game. They couldn't get into it. They had to change, and they had a bit of joy at the end. This Chelsea team, they had a few players missing as well, and they've got so many to come back. They had so many good players coming off the bench too, so I feel they've got a great shout of winning the title. But resilience and luck and a world-class performance from your goalkeeper will help you, yes, but there needs to be something more convincing at times, easy for me to say, systemically from Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. And I say that because perhaps you look at the likes of Liverpool, who of course got only a draw at Brentford, and of course drew with Chelsea at home at Anfield when they had a man advantage and probably should have done better 2 matches there where Chelsea ultimately came up on top. But look at how they attack, their cohesion, their chemistry. The thing is with Liverpool, past their first choice 11, they don't really have much. Chelsea are not like that. Chelsea have a lot of players, Past their first choice 11, they have lots and lots of more quality. An analogy I've been using recently is Liverpool are like a three-piece tailored suit. You know, it all, and I say three-piece because of defence, midfield and attack. It all fits perfectly. It's all in context and in style. It looks the same. It works perfectly. The Chelsea squad is like loads of random pieces of expensive clothing that do not go together in an outfit at the best of times. You got a Gucci, I was about to say knuckle duster. You know what? You got a Gucci knuckle duster. You know, Dolce & Gabbana belt, Armani hat. You got all this expensive gear, but it's all different styles. And it doesn't work together. So Liverpool comes strutting into town with this, you know, fitted, all-in-theme context three-piece suit. And the ladies want the Liverpool. And they look at Chelsea and go, wow, they've clearly, like, you know, got stuff. But it doesn't work. Now, we need to make it work. Thomas Tuchel needs to make an outfit together. Whether that's just to wear a three-piece suit forever and until it sort of wears in and fits, which is like, you could argue, keeping the same front three constantly until they just develop chemistry, until you sort of just hammer chemistry into them and they start combining well and scoring more goals that perhaps the defence deserves. But by doing that, you're keeping out superstars. And let's be real, there is a benefit to Chelsea having a big, exciting squad and rotation, because perhaps it does suit Thomas Tuchel tactically, in the sense of the opposition don't know what they're planning for. Yes, we don't have this concise chemistry and fit together where we just, you know, play ball and score loads of goals, but the opposition don't know what to plan for, and you might put a certain forward on a certain fullback because of an attribute. Do you know what I mean? That gives Chelsea a slight advantage, which was great. But it is risky to have this approach because Chelsea ultimately, when they do have the ball, they can't score goals. Like this in that article, Chelsea had a lot of the ball against Brentford. Didn't score the goals. Yes, Brentford are very good. And yes, pinch of salt, it was straight after an international break where perhaps more of Chelsea's players were away playing with their respective international sides as opposed to Brentford's, who perhaps didn't have that many. I can't confirm that. I'm just assuming there for a moment. So, Chelsea, what do they do? Do they stick with Werner and Lukaku up front? Something that we've spoken about on this channel before. Lukaku worked really well with Lautaro Martinez, his little man to his big man. Timo Werner worked really well with Poulsen, his big man to his little man. So you'd think, oh wow, they're made for each other. Werner and Lukaku, both respectively had excellent international breaks, scoring great goals. Come back together, it's not working. Or do we go back to a front three where you have perhaps more of a link man or two number 10s? That kind of makes sense more, you know? Probably makes sense more. But who do you bring in? Mason Mount seemed like first name on the team sheet for a while. So what is it? Mason Mount? I mean, for a while it looked like Tuchel wanted to do Mount, Havertz and Lukaku. And that kind of made sense. You've got the Academy Superstar Player of the Year, functional pressing player, important system player in Mason Mount. You've got the silky German, who is just what we need, apparently, in Kai Havertz, who, of course, is a world-class talent and, oozes class at times, still very young, of course. And then Romelu Lukaku, who, of course, will start. But, I don't know, Timo Werner pressing, running the channels, does score goals. He's a streaky player, man, but he does score goals throughout his career. This is like the most difficult dip. But, you know, look at that second goal he scored for Germany. That is not a man short of confidence, certainly in a Germany shirt. Maybe just Chelsea at the moment. He did score against Southampton, of course. This is something Thomas Tuchel needs to figure out. But it's not just the chemistry in the attack in the front three. It's finding a way the midfield can communicate with the attack well. Yes, we saw that great pass from Kovacic to Lukaku, so we know it's in his locker. But we need some more creative through balls and combinations from midfield. Ball carriers is working, and I think Thomas Tuchel was a little bit shocked into this after that Man City game when we were completely penned in. I think, granted, it was Man City, the best team probably in the world at doing that. Almost certainly in the world at doing that. But Thomas, I think, was scared after that. He was like, wow, that can be done to my Chelsea team. What do we do? Ball carriers, brings in Ruben Loftus-Cheek, makes sure he's playing Mateo Kovacic, and even people like Trev Chalobah who can carry the ball. You know, people who can carry the ball out of the press, dribble around them, and Loftus-Cheek is the best probably in the Chelsea team at that. Sure, Kovacic is great dribbling out and wriggling out of the press, but you watch how Ruben Loftus-Cheek can dance through players and dribble forwards. That, is quite unique in the Chelsea squad since Eden Hazard left, actually. So that's what he's thinking right now, Thomas Tuchel. We need these ball carriers to escape the press. Makes a lot of sense. We've got it. But at the same time, when you've got that, and you don't have that final combination with the forwards, you're missing these passes, the Cesc Fabregas type that served us so well in that title-winning campaign. Sort of 2 title-winning campaigns, because he did play a little bit under Conte's first season. Excuse me. Certainly played very well when we won the league under Jose Mourinho for the last time. Don't have that passing player. We do have Hakim Ziyech, who perhaps for a while looked like that solution. That left boot, that creative, audacious, disguised, immediate forward pass. A little bit like Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United, makes those quick, risky passes. Hakim Ziyech, that's in his nature. But he seems a little bit lost in the Premier League, and I think most Chelsea fans at the moment would agree he doesn't seem like the answer right now. It's difficult. I agree with Gary Neville. We have the resilience to win the Premier League, but I don't think it's going to be easy, and we have a lot of problems to sort out, certainly in midfield and attack. And I don't mean midfield in terms of functionality or defending. I mean it in terms of linking to the attack and being creative with the attack, which is important, by the way. But hey, if you've got these problems, what a better time and place to deal with them sitting at the top of the Premier League after having played Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and you know what? You can add Brentford away to that list. You know what I mean? That is a tough fixture. They slapped up Arsenal 3-0. They got a draw with Liverpool, and they showed us just how good they are against Chelsea, against us as well. So really, really important. Guys, before I end the video, I want to take just a moment to thank everyone that's been supporting me on Twitch. I've been streaming on Twitch every single day, sometimes twice a day. I'm really loving it, actually. Playing FIFA 22 Ultimate Team, playing FIFA 22 Chelsea Career Mode. We'll probably play other stuff on FIFA FPS. Building a community on there. I'm seeing regulars. I'm seeing mods and subs on there. And I want to thank everyone for... don't know what's happening there. I want to thank everyone for coming to follow me on Twitch. Twitch is absolutely and completely free, obviously. I'll put a link in the description or pin a comment with my Twitch link. So do go check that out. Superb. Thank you to everyone that's been getting involved to the live streams. And I welcome the rest of you who's yet to do it as well. So that's it from me, guys. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.